at the ceiling, ask if anyone's there. You ever drown in the poison just to say you don't care? This is Project Mayhem. We break what breaks you. What breaks you? Talking don't sell slaves. And the lies they feed you. They feed you from the edge of the system to the light that we choose. Project Mayhem Podcast. We got nothing to lose.
Alright guys, welcome back everybody. This is episode 12 of Project Mayhem Podcast. This week we are joined by an ex-coworker of mine, Carlos. Thank you for coming.
Of course, man.
Yes,
thank you for having me.
you.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
No problem, brother.
And you know that I wanted to have you on because we would bullshit while we were at the job, and you would hear me talk to clients, and I'd start bringing in the Anunnaki, and then one day we talked about Robert Maxwell in the textbooks, and I was like, "Yo, listen, not a lot of people just have that."
The greatest spy ever, according to everyone.
He was way, bro.
That dude.
I found out. First off, I found out he worked very close with Mother Teresa.
Yeah,
which,
dude,
I don't want to say it.
That makes you think.
Oh no, I know
of her.
Yeah, exactly.
Come
Mother
on. Teresa.
Why is she working hand in hand with somebody like that?
Come on, man.
So let me ask you this, Carlos. What was the first conspiracy theory that kind of got you?
Honestly, man, looking back on it, just JFK.
JFK, that's a good first one, right?
Yeah,
now,
because
let me ask you, because I actually, it's some guy in the comic book place.
Yeah,
the only other person that knows this theory besides me, apparently. Do you know where the final shot came from?
Supposedly from the fucking the well. Well, I mean, not the well.
The sewer.
The sewer.
Ah, you know
yes,
it. You
sewer.
know your shit.
It was the driver. The driver did a bang. And
no, it wasn't the driver. It was the sewer. So there was a kid. It was an 18-year-old kid that worked for the CIA. They he worked out of a dealership. So what happened was he came back to the dealership. They filed a police report, but obviously got lost. He came back smelling like sewage. He was throwing up because obviously.
Yeah.
So they have a mark on the curb. Mm-hmm. Where the driver was told the route of film was actually doctored. The car does stop. They said if the car is not, he's not dead by this spot, stop the car. And that's why the headshot goes like this. They show you the sewer. It's like a little tunnel.
Yeah.
And then he shot from there. And that was the angle that gave the head jerk that everybody couldn't figure out.
Dude,
but I see they actually showed you in this documentary, I forget the name of it. They actually show you the sewer, they show you the mark that they still have on the curb to this day, and they show you the police report. Because when he got back from the dealership, they were like, "Yo, he's acting all crazy," And then,
very erratic, very odd, different from what they're accustomed to. Yeah,
he's only an 18-year-old kid working for the CIA.
Think about that, man. God knows the brainwash he went through. That's a psyop in itself.
So have you guys ever seen the piece of paper that had the similarities between Abraham Lincoln and JFK?
Yes.
So I'm looking at it right now, and
that's nutty as well. But it's not just them two. There's several people.
So it's Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1845, Kennedy 1945, 100-year difference.
Yeah.
He was elected president in 1860. Lincoln, JFK 1960. His wife, Lincoln's wife, lost a child living in the White House. So did JFK's. They were both, directly involved with civil rights.
Yes.
Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy. Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln. Lincoln was shot in the back of the head in the presence of his wife. Kennedy was shot in the back of his head in the presence of his wife. Lincoln was shot.
He got shot a couple times.
Lincoln was shot in the Ford Theater. Kennedy was shot in a Lincoln made by Ford. Yeah. So it's all these conspiracy, similarities, right?
I don't know. I don't know too much about Lincoln. I didn't think he was too much of a righteous man.
I mean, but
what I heard.
The CIA.
Well, there's theories about him
right?
too.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Well, the CIA wasn't invented by then, right?
Yes.
So
they had something else that. What's his face? Who was the guy?
Edgar J. Edgar Hoover, right? If I'm not mistaken.
He was the one that started the FBI.
Yes,
FBI,
I'm saying the guy, the Will Spooks, whatever, the guy who shot him.
Yes.
He was part of something.
Well, so
He was the fall guy because I don't think right.
So there's
He
the,
didn't really. No, I'm
Oh
saying
no,
he was
you're
the
talking about
idea.
Lincoln. I'm
Yes,
talking.
yes.
I'm still on JFK. Yes,
Yeah,
the
no,
Wilkes
Lincoln,
Booth.
I'm talking about Lincoln. Yes,
Yeah.
he
So
was part of it.
there's the idea of like throughout time there's always been like secret societies, right?
Yeah, Illuminati.
So like I mean even in Rome, right? So there was the Senate in Rome, but then there was really the people above it that really influenced all the
You
decisions.
know what was whatever? How can we call it? P to the files started. It was back then
Yeah,
in Roman times. They were using
little boys, man.
and their stuff down there to give them like energy that whatever.
I mean, they say like the Roman Empire didn't fall; it became the Vatican.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's
They
one
still
theory.
exist,
The
yeah.
other one they say it's
Exactly.
New York, the Excelsior State.
Yeah, exactly.
I see that. Yeah, I worked all over Manhattan, in downtown Manhattan. You would see Baphomet statues everywhere.
Yeah,
And then there's the building downtown with no windows.
Oh yeah, the one we spoke
The
about.
one we spoke about. And then Tom Hanks made a comment about it.
and
then
he's
the
even
news.
questioning.
He's a big one. There's a thing called this kid does it. It's called the Hanks. He does Pedogate files. It's 2000 Pedogate 2022, and he goes into the whole Tom Hanks thing, and he does a lot of creepy stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
that,
man.
I mean, so
that's
so
why him
like,
and Rita supposedly like moved, right? They went
Australia.
Yeah.
well, there's a lot of them that you know, like Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh, God.
that lady,
Like
yeah.
all
Yeah,
these
she-
people that came
You
out.
see when the
and-
adrenochrome dried up.
and that had to do with like Pizzagate.
Dude, you see how she looks?
They even did it at like one of those like the Grammys or something.
Yeah, they did the whole
That-
pizza
that
game.
They were like,
They
who
were, like,
wants
making a
pizza?
joke of
Who
it.
wants pizza?
They literally
Yes,
ordered pizza.
Yes, yes. Listen, if you see this, the same kid who did that one did the thing, and he went into their Instagram, right, and then goes into their pictures. They're posting pictures with a baby with with a price tag on it, and then the comments. This is the key thing where they didn't show you in the news. The comments of people talking about, oh, I would do this, and this, and pictures of kids, and then all his buddies. And you know what it is? It's not like older people. It was hipster crowd.
Yeah.
It was like that generation. That was all
Well, yo,
part
listen.
of that.
So what's his name?
It's insane, man.
What's his name? The one that was Charles Manson.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So like, there's a whole thing that he was like part of the CIA, and if you see his like some of his interviews while he's in jail, he kind of like brings a lot of it to light, and brings like certain things that the CIA were doing back then because
Psyops.
he was kind of part
Yeah,
of the MK Ultra type of thing.
Yeah, with the whole acid and
You know, like,
mind control.
so you said before the podcast, you know, about how the government has been releasing. This is the second round of like UFO files.
Yeah, I've been seeing stuff
of
pop
them
up.
saying that you know they exist now. They're not. It's something we knew anyway,
Yeah,
right? But I think a lot of that has to do. It's always like anytime the news shows some crap, right? It's always like try to like look over
It's
here.
a
while we do
diversion.
this
It's a
other
Yeah, it's a
thing.
diversion where they're
Sleight
trying
of
to
hand.
take your attention here while
Sleight of
something
hand.
crazy is happening over here.
Sleight of hand.
Yeah.
But I always heard that the biggest false flag to really do it would be an alien invasion. To unify, how you
Yes.
unify in the world,
Yeah.
an outside threat.
Think about
Well,
it.
And
I-
Project Bluebeam, we've
Yeah.
had forever. So
Well, I think there's like it's so like the American people have lost so much faith in the government. Period. Right. So they like there's that saying, "No taxation without representation."
Representation, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So like we pay our taxes, right? So we like vote for people, right? But the problem is the people we are voting for that go into office get bought out by
Yes.
people
So,
over here.
That's where, the
So it's
idea
like
of
what
APAC comes in.
So right, and that goes back to JFK too. Like
Yeah.
he
Well,
wanted.
see, that's one of the bigger things that they feel like, because a lot of people said it was the mob, but it was the mob
No.
via Israel because of all the stuff he was trying to put out. Because I don't know if you remember, he was trying to give back power to a lot of African Americans and bringing out the real history. It was like
trying
a
to do lot of-
museum.
yeah. Look
It was-
at his last speech.
Yeah.
Secret Society, CIA,
Yeah.
talking about the Federal Reserve. So what I heard, it was LBJ was there that day because his ex-girlfriend or whatever, side chick, was talking about it. So it was him, Hoover. We were talking about ran the FBI. It was them, Cubans, mafia. There was a bunch of people.
So
that
they were
ran
all
on it.
against him.
And George Bush Sr. was spearheading that.
Yeah.
That was his first big thing. was
That's
they
when
got-
he-
And-
that's
and
when
then-
he was running.
And then he comes in. He's one of those people that are part of Skull and Bones.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
You know,
yeah,
like,
Skull
so
and
these-
Bones.
And look at football. Football was started by the guy who was the Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
The biggest rituals of the year is the Super Bowl.
People don't realize, man, the world is ran by secret societies. I mean, yes, it's a conspiracy and it's something that like people can't fathom, the ones that don't believe it. But what do you think the Bilderberg group and all these other groups, what are they in for?
Bohemian Grove and all
Come
that.
on,
Alex
man.
Jones
So-
has been exposed as forever.
Yes, and dude, and you know what's crazy? Because Alex Jones, man,
He
as
went in
nutty
there.
as he sounds and how, because he goes on rants, and
That's
half the time
problem.
it's like,
he goes too crazy, and people.
and
just
a lot
go,
of it is fodder, but within all his stuff, there are truths that have either come to light because a lot of stuff he said is either happening now or has happened within the last 3 or 4 years.
You know what pissed me off when me and you watched it in LICR was when he was on Rogan, and Rogan was like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I was like, bro, come on. Really, Rogan?
You know,
And you would expect him to kind of,
Yes,
but
he was like kind of shitting on him.
a
I was
lot
pissed.
because again, like you said, he's so out there.
yes.
And it's like
It's his delivery. It's the delivery,
so,
really,
like,
you
I
know?
mean, because it's documented that Alex Jones talked about what was going to happen in 9/11 in like July of 2001.
Yeah.
2 months later, 9/11 happens.
It's like, come on.
So like he was talking about they're putting something in the water that's making the frogs gay or whatnot.
Yeah, we talked about
And
last
that was real.
And then that came out to be true. So like he knows.
Like if he delivered it a little better, where it's
But also,
well,
it
that
was
people
the
can
s-
digest it
it
and
was-
consume it.
it was the
people would wake up more because that's the thing. A lot of people are asleep. Man.
It was the Sandy Hook thing that kind of.
Another thing
but
with
listen,
the paid
listen.
actors and all
I
that.
seen there's this guy. Damn, what's his name? I gotta look it up. So he shows you the FEMA pamphlet for that day. That school was not in order. Okay, now let me ask you both a question. Actually, you maybe how old are you?
I'm 37.
Okay, I'm 38. You're 34. I remember watching Columbine live.
Yeah, well,
okay?
I don't.
Now,
I was
Columbine, that was real.
Yeah.
Okay, Sandy Hook, the kids are single file. Nobody's rushing in. The kids, they only show you one picture of the killer, right? Then the news shows you 2 different rooms of his bedroom.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, the same actors that were in there
Yeah, the
were in
paid
the Boston
crisis
bombing,
actors.
were in Vegas,
Yeah.
were in Florida. They're all the same crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Those kids were shown with Obama at the White House.
Well, that's the thing. Also, like the Charlie Cook
Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk.
That
So
was-
those people in those maroon shirts have been seen in a whole bunch of other places that things have
Charlie
happened
Kirk,
to.
you want to know how crazy
Dude,
this is?
that whole
So
situation is
the
nuts.
device they made, they actually have the
Yeah,
documents,
it's
right?
the mic.
The mic, right? So
And you know who makes those devices, right?
right, that company. So the place that made it, actually, the week later, the building blew up.
Yep.
They blew the building up.
Yeah.
So not only that, so
know your stuff, man.
So the kid that gets locked up, right? His father had a contract. So like where Charlie
Yeah.
Kirk was sitting, there was like a tunnel. His
Mm-hmm.
father had a contract to fill it in that day.
Yeah, bro. Of
So-
course, the kid's probably not even locked
Not only
up.
that,
don't,
do you
that's why you
guys
never see
know-
a trial or anything with any of these people.
Do you guys know that when it happened, I guess something ricocheted into the concrete?
Oh, because
The evidence was there. They went back and repaved it.
Yes. Well, you know
Like
what
the
happened?
next day, dude.
The mic. It was supposed to.
Yeah, that's why it looked like he was shot from
Yes,
afar
it actually-
because the way it did it.
discharged the wrong way.
Yes,
That's why that
yes.
was the
It was
problem.
supposed to discharge, I think, into his
Yes,
chest.
into his chest.
And
So
it went
that's
up into
why,
his neck.
Yes, it actually backfired.
I don't know if you guys seen recently because Candace Owens been on it.
Oh, yeah,
I love her.
she-
You know,
I love her
kinda
too,
was on the
man.
fence
She
with
keeps
her
it real.
until she started doing her own thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo.
And she tells it how it is. Like, dude, like, what's her name? Yeah, it's his wife, but she was his handler. That's really what it is. And now
yeah.
she's taking the shine. Because how do you have this type of reaction when someone you love just got killed away? You know what I mean?
And have more animosity toward her than the killer.
Yeah.
I forgive him, but then look at it. She looked crazy first of
Yeah.
all. But I don't know if you've seen recently. She had Hunter Biden on.
Oh, really?
Right?
No, I didn't see
And
that.
Hunter Biden.
Yeah, exactly.
He keeps it real, though, man. Regardless of how crazy he is, he keeps it real.
Hunter,
that guy.
Hunter Biden was kind of like co-signing everything Candace Owens was saying. It was like,
Yeah,
he
and
gets-
I love how
something
Trump never brought up Hunter Biden's laptop.
No.
When they found that and everything on it, that could have buried everybody.
You know the stuff that was on that stuff? Forget the pedophilia and all the crazy stuff. That's why he stands 10 toes. I hate to use that phrase, it's a modern Gen Z phrase. But he really stands firm on what he says and believes. And, they're trying to sue him and they're trying to freaking discredit him and do all this other stuff. And he hasn't backed away
Wait,
at
what are
all.
you talking about?
Hunter Biden.
Oh, no. Wait, you're saying he's good or bad?
No, I'm not saying he's good at all.
Oh,
I'm not saying
he's bad.
Yeah,
bro.
he's very bad. But what I'm saying is that when it comes to fighting against those people that he's going against, he stands firm with everything.
the
Listen,
problem is
he
this.
should catch a hot
The,
yeah, dude. But what he do to kids? Hell yeah,
the
dude.
problem is there's bad players on both sides.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's also kind of like what's going on. It's like we're caught in between a war between evil. It's not good and evil. Yeah, the good is trying to fight, but we're
Evil
fighting
and
two
Evil and lesser evil.
yes, evil and lesser evil. And there's the good that are trying to fight both.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, the problem is you're trying to undo hundreds of years of evil in a little bit of time. That's why, like, you understand, no president has power. Since, like, back in the Kennedy days and
they're
before
controlled.
him,
And they're all related.
They had a little more power.
Putin said it.
Yeah.
Putin said it. It says America, votes on the person until the people in the black coats come in and say, this is how it's going.
And speaking of voting, right, there was this thing the CIA has called economic hitmen, right? So they always vilify other people. Like,
Of course.
So this guy, he worked so the CIA used to contract these guys. So, like, I'll give you an example. In the Middle East, Saddam Hussein, right?
Yeah.
They made him seem like he was
We built him, man.
Osama
we
bin
created
Laden,
him.
bin Laden,
no,
too.
no. Hussein, we didn't build.
Oh, yeah, Jose was his own guy.
So I'm gonna say, so what they did is, they go say, I'll give you an example. We'll say Venezuela. I'm just gonna throw out a country, right? They go into the leaders or the president and say, listen, we're gonna give you whatever, $500 million loan. I'm just throwing a number out there, right? You're gonna default on it. Now we're gonna either take your produce, whatever your country produces, and then put military installations in,
and imply sanctions.
and then and then you'll be rich with your people, and everything is gonna.
It's poor. Yeah.
So now what they tried doing with him, what Osama was saying was they went to him. He said, "No, I'm not doing that to my people."
Yeah.
So phase 2 is
Gaddafi
they try to
too.
run a coup,
A coup.
A coup. Yeah, they try to run a
Right?
coup.
They tried to turn the people against him. Couldn't happen.
No.
Third stage is go to war.
Yeah.
And the storm. Couldn't get to him. Then they ran it back. They wanted him so bad, the way he controlled, and people loved him in the Middle East.
Yeah.
They ran it back, part 2, same thing, and eventually, they got him. And They killed him.
Just like Omar Gaddafi too, man.
Yeah.
Similar
Bro,
situation
and
with
he
him as
had-
well. And he got it.
And what he was doing for his country,
Oh,
he was
dude.
sending them all to school for
Yeah,
free,
man.
building them up.
He was building a socialistic, community for his country, man. And honestly, listen, when it comes to moral things, they do bad things.
Yeah.
But
But
some of
so
the
do
stuff
we.
that they do and the reason behind why they do certain things, like, all right, it's commendable. Because if you're in that situation, you might do the same thing.
Listen, it's so hard to say, especially when you're like, Smith, imagine them coming to you and being like, if you don't do X, Y, or Z, we're going to wipe out your whole...
So like,
Come on.
because everything that we always accuse the other side of doing, we do too.
Yes,
right.
of
But
course,
it's
of
because we're
course.
America.
But we try to
it's
justify
okay.
it. People, it's
Right?
justification.
So they're doing the same thing. That's an even playing field as far as
Yeah,
I'm concerned.
100%.
So I was watching one of these guys that used to be in the CIA, and he was talking about every Tuesday, right? There's a group of people that come up with a hit list of people that need to die that week.
Dude, like these scientists.
Oh, that
It's
all
up to like 12 scientists.
that all disappeared.
Listen, you know what the crazy thing is? I don't know if either one of you
They've
guys
either
see-
died or
Have
disappeared.
you guys seen Missing 411?
Missing
Okay, so
411.
basically
I
this
might
guy
have.
works in national parks all across the United States. And we're not talking about just missing people that, disappear, get eaten by. So the people that go missing are children. I'm talking about missing where
There's no trace.
there's no trace, there's no scent, they
Where-
disappear.
This is where like the UFO shit with people being abducted.
Or they reappear and then don't remember anything.
No, because they were tested on or whatever.
Well, so now there's 2 factors. There's also, by these national parks, a lot of dumps, deep underground military bases.
Yeah.
Number 2 is, like, say, like, there was one kid that went missing, and then they had, like, CERT teams there. And they weren't working with the cops. And, like, they'll have the FBI there, and they won't, you know what I mean? But what I also found interesting, the kids thing, yeah, we all know about. But the people that were going missing were physicists and all these but they were white with German descent. Went missing.
So really,
So what happened was, say, like, there's a group of them walking, right?
Yeah.
And the guy would get tired, or girl, whatever, would get tired, fall back.
Fall behind, yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? Like, give me like 5 minutes. And then say, like, they would turn the corner. They would turn right back around, the person would be gone. I'm talking about gone. There's no
Like,
tracking. There's no scent.
It's a thin air.
So there's that. And I always heard it was natural portal gates that people walk through and just
Yeah.
disappear.
Yo, I was watching this podcast about this chick that's a renowned remote viewer.
Oh, remote viewing is great.
So she was talking about how she was remote viewing, and she gets basically her spirit or whatever gets abducted by aliens, right? And takes her to the moon inside the moon.
Yeah, the moon base.
Right.
Yeah, 'cause they say the moon is
hollow.
And then
it's a hollow object.
so there's
yeah.
beings. She explained there were beings, and then she looks up and there's a whole bunch of other orbs, which are other remote viewers that kind of got invited to this.
Oh, wow.
And there was a being that was explaining there was a big galactic war, and that you know.
That's what they say. Gaia. There's like a thing on Gaia.
Gaia,
That
Gaia has a lot
that
of
we're
it.
literally in the midst
now
of a big
the moon
galactic
is like
war.
the UN. So there were so many wars. There's actually
Yeah.
there's it's a book called Artifacts of the Moon, which shows you a lot of the destruction. And the moon's like UN. That's why when we had 2 moon landings, one that was allowed,
Yeah.
which you could hear, there were certain radio signals that got picked up by people that were like, I guess like you know, they had like a delay for NASA, but then people tapped into that, right? And you could hear them saying, "We see them on the ridge. What should we do?" And they're like, "Proceed." And that's why when they're about to land the first time, they come back up and they move. Because they were supposed to land in a designated spot.
Right, and they
So
missed
now
it.
the reason, what I heard, why we never went back to the moon is, remember when they dropped the rover into the moon?
Yeah.
And it rang for a bell for days? They weren't supposed to do that.
No.
So that pissed off a lot of
people,
beings
yeah.
and people. And they were like, yeah, you guys have never come back to the moon. We don't care. Or at least that space program. We
Yeah.
have our own base and other space program on the moon. But like NASA and them, they're like, none of you guys are coming back here ever again.
Wow.
That's what
They
I
were
heard.
they were basically banned.
Bam.
From going
You
over
had
there.
said, you want to mess around? That's it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, they recently had that mission, right? That they went around the moon.
Yeah, they went on to the dark side of the moon. Yeah, and then
And they
they
showed
lost
you
connection for a little.
nothing.
No, of course not. And then I guess they lost connection for a little bit.
Lost connection.
Yeah,
You know what's crazy too? It was this
How convenient.
right?
the same
It's
thing.
come
Like,
on.
remember when they had that rover land on Mars, right? So there was a guy, I forget his name. He's big in the UFO community now, but he was a news reporter back then. So you know, like they have like the little cutout windows in the room.
Mm-hmm.
So, right, so he's watching through there. So that he has a delayed. Everything's delayed. So he has a TV screen in their room where like the reporters are sitting, but he goes by the window and looks. When the rover lands, it's a green like atmosphere sky. And all of a sudden they must have seen him. They put a piece of paper over the door and then his screen turns all red, like what you say.
Wow.
So meaning Mars doesn't look what Mars looks like,
No.
which that's when the Anunnaki come in.
Yeah,
I heard the Anunnaki are from Mars.
really.
Well,
Yes.
Okay.
either that or
Because the Anunnaki, people use that as a broad term for aliens.
Yeah,
Anunnaki
yeah.
is
It is a
actually the beings with the
specific-
bellies.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are Mars
Well,
beings.
I heard they came from planet Nibiru.
Yeah,
And
Nibiru, and- and
No, no,
they came
was
here
a
for gold.
planet that where the asteroid belt is. now.
Yeah.
Or it comes around every
No,
so
you're almost
often.
right. So Nibiru is that's the giants. So them and Mars were side by side. That's why Mars' whole like I think it's left to right side is blown up.
Mm-hmm.
What happened was that culture they call it the super Earth too. The biometric pressure is so much different. That's why they grew to 80 feet tall. They were building basically this like almost like Death Star type thing around Saturn. Because there's a book called
The Ri- oh, that
Rings
was-
Around
that
Saturn where
thing
they
you were talking
find
about.
80-foot, 100-foot rooms of technology. So they were building this ring. It was always going to be able to destroy planets, kind of like Star Wars.
Yeah.
So what happened was, now Mars people, like they were very war race. They were so AI, like technology, they had like basically they would talk to each other with light on their face, like light patterns.
Yeah.
Like they could basically like hack into it. Like they were full blown, but they were very warring.
Everything was telekinesis, basically.
Yes, exactly. But not like they were using all technology.
Like
It
Morse
wasn't-
code.
Morse
Without-
code.
yeah,
Yeah, with
exactly.
the- okay.
So what happened was our galaxy was supposed to be protected by the ancient builder race, which had like these almost, I swear, it's just like Star Wars, like Death Star type things that were locking it in so no outside interference would come in and, touch us and let whoever on this galaxy, evolve. So what happened was when they hacked one of these satellites to destroy what they were building around the moon, the Nibiru, whatever you want to call them. That blew up, and then that blew up to super Earth, and then that also destroyed Mars. And that's when they got into the moon, tidal locked with the Earth, and then also oh my God, what were we just talking about? What was the name?
Anunnaki.
Anunnaki from Mars also came. They landed in Antarctica. And then so what happened was when the moon came over from the explosion, obviously the elite left. Everybody else on the planet got shafted.
yeah.
That's where the asteroid belt's from. Because they have a project called Brilliant Pebbles where they actually bring back the asteroid belt and it shows that big planet I was talking about. So when they tidal locked with the moon, a lot of them died. They came down to Earth, and then eventually biometric pressure started getting smaller and smaller. Also started mating with people, and then that's where the Nephilim
The Nephilim came out, and
Yeah,
then that caused the whole thing too, and that's
Yes.
why they say the flood came about because the Nephilim,
See, that's when
the spiritual meets
spiritual and
meets-
science
and
meet.
so then like the flood, right? There's so much books that talk about the flood,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's in the Bible, but it's also in the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Yes, that was
Right.
it. Was because
So now, what
yeah.
is that exactly? Explain it to me, because I'm not too familiar with that.
What, the Epic of Gilgamesh?
Yeah.
So it's part of the Sumerian texts.
Okay.
Right, which was one of the first recorded languages that there are.
Oh,
is
yeah,
from
yeah.
Sumer. And a lot of things that happen in the Bible, right? It correlates with a lot of these texts as well, right? So like, going from the Bible and talking about the flood, it speaks on Noah, right? Noah's grandfather was Enoch.
Yes, okay, that I know, yes.
So
the Book of Enoch.
right, which is part of what's called the Gnostic text,
Yes.
which is the books that the Vatican took out of the Bible. So it's like
Exactly,
the Book
that
of
they-
Enoch,
that they
the Book
stole.
of Mary Magdalene, the Book of Thomas, the Book of Kings. And it also
So on and
talks.
so
So
forth.
like the Book of Kings talks about Jesus and where he was when he wasn't in the Bible. He went to Egypt to learn the Egyptian mysteries, and then he went to Tibet to learn the mystic arts and whatnot. And then he came back and did his thing. But Enoch, right, was supposedly abducted, right, and it talks about that in the Bible, little hints
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
And he's abducted, going with this path by the Anunnaki that tells him, listen, there's going to be a flood, build a flood. Build an ark and like save the animals or whatever.
Yeah.
And he tells his son tells his son, and then next thing you know, Noah comes of
Noah's
age,
the one.
and he's on this
And you know what the
divine,
crazy part
divine
is?
mission.
I don't know if you guys both, the military found Noah's Ark.
Really?
They found it, and
At the top of the mountain. right?
yes, and it was huge, number one. And number
The
two,
man,
no, that's what I'm saying. So
I feel like the Nephilim helped. Like, because that's what they said. The giants started mating with the humans, creating the Nephilim, and that's why.
And
the
you know what
flood
the
was
other
being
crazy
done to
thing is?
wipe them out.
So, have you ever seen like what a Himalayan salt mine looks like?
yes,
Yes, it's
I've seen
pink.
pictures of it.
It's like
yes.
pink.
So it's very, very similar to like a petrified human.
Yes.
A giant.
You ever see the famous one where it's
Oh,
like a
yeah.
giant face? Yeah,
Yes,
dude.
yes.
It seems like there's a giant crystallized on the side of a mountain.
You
the way
know,
it
the
looks like.
military also found in the Middle East. They found I think it was like 15 feet tall giant. They
Yeah,
six
yeah.
fingers.
They
They got
said-
into a shootout and killed it.
Well, they thought that they found the tomb of Gilgamesh.
No, I'm talking.
But I don't know if that was-
This is current day. Like actually, they got it, speared it killed like 3 soldiers, and they actually took.
So I just, I want to just real quick, right? When I was in school, like I learned that pyramids were like tombs for the pharaohs, right?
Yeah, but they're not.
But
They're
there was
energy
never
sources.
there was
Yeah.
never a
Energy
pharaoh
sources.
found
Ever
in a
found.
tomb. So like I want to bring that back to when me and you were talking about Robert Maxwell and
Yeah.
being partners with McGraw-Hill. That was the textbooks we learned
that
from.
we learned in school,
right?
yeah.
So like there's a broader mission to teach people what they want them to learn. So it makes you re-question everything you learned when you become enlightened. So like there's 2 births, right? There's a physical birth and there's like a spiritual birth. That you start to become aware and question things and whatnot, and it's funny that like I bring even at work, right? You heard me and you were laughing because I was on the phone and I was talking to a client about like, have you ever wondered where gold came from?
Yeah, that's
You
the
know,
why they were here. So
like why is
gold.
gold relevant? And then it brought it back to the Anunnaki, how they screwed with our genetics, our 23rd chromosome, which put a telomere cap on it, and which aged us. And the Bible talks about us being aged or whatever, but they genetically modified us to mine for gold for them because
Yes.
they needed it
And
for
they're
the
gonna come
atmosphere.
back for it,
So
yeah.
it's like there's a story. It's called like the pot roast story, right? And so there's this mother. She's cooking a pot roast, right? And she sees her take the pot roast out of the fridge, right? Cut off the both ends and put it in the pot. And the daughter says, "Hey, Mom, why do you cut off the ends of the pot roast?" She's like, "I don't know. Ask your grandmother," right? Goes to the grandma, says, "Hey, Grandma, why does Mom cut off the ends of the pot roast before she puts it in the pot?" She said, "That's how I learned to do it. Go ask my mother." So she goes to the great grandma and says, "Hey, great grandma, why does my mom cut off the ends of the pot roast before she puts it in the pot?" She says, "Well, honey, when I was a kid, we didn't have pots big enough to fit that amount of meat.
Yeah.
So we did what we had to do." So it's like just things you learn get passed down and you never know the meaning of it.
The meaning of it, 100%.
So like I think there's a lot that goes on, and we start to find out that when they did the sonar with the pyramids, that there's aquifers.
Yeah,
underneath.
aquifers. Yeah, it's an energy
Yeah, I mean,
source.
we did not build those.
No, of
first
course
all,
not, dude.
They
No
had
human
different
could
type
build
of
that.
energy. I forget somebody.
Kandahar giant.
This was Afghanistan.
Yeah, that they found
Oh
the
yes,
Kandahar
yes,
giant. Yeah.
Ghaffari giant. Yes, I can't see it. Can you?
You want me to read it?
Yeah, I can't read the whole. I can't see the whole.
So, a modern urban legend, this viral myth claims that in 2002, a U.S. military squad in the remote mountains of Afghanistan encountered a 13-foot tall red-haired giant with 6 fingers on each hand and double rows of teeth. Yeah, I
Can we
remember
get some
seeing
gunshots
this on
of-
something like that. Yeah, man. And that's the one that they try to like basically like make go back into the cave or something like that because there was like one that came out of a cave and he killed a couple of people.
Yeah,
that
no,
giant.
definitely-
I
Yeah.
want to read more. It says they got killed with a massive spear.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a spear. Yep.
The most popular story circulates primarily on cryptozoology blogs, podcasts, and online forums. According to the tale, after the creature killed a soldier with a massive spear,
Yep.
the squad eliminated it, and the U.S. government airlifted the body away to cover up the event.
I
Of
was
course,
just telling you that in
they
the car
cover
the
up
other day,
everything.
bro.
Yo, shout out to Ben, bro. Ben's
Yeah,
like
Ben,
he's
good looks,
like our
bro.
Thank you,
Jamie.
Ben. We appreciate
yo,
that.
But like, we were just talking about in the car, like, dude. So like, that's what I'm saying. This is all like Bigfoot. I seen remote viewers look into Bigfoot, and
It's real.
and it's real, and also like what. They're not. It's like they're not here for anything more.
No, they're
so like
just-
they're migrating, and then so everybody's like, "Oh, there's something happening."
Yes.
No, you know why they're migrating? Because of food.
Yeah.
Like there was no
Scarcity.
no, it's just like food patterns, like any animal.
Oh,
Just
I see what you're saying. They're
just
following the food. Yeah. Seasons.
So they go in
certain-
packs, and also they look at us like violent, and they don't really care about us,
course,
but they see
no.
us like violent creatures, and also like. It's kind of like a joke to them, and they use like somehow they know what natural portals are to bounce around,
Yes,
because now like
yes.
they just disappear, reappear.
No, yeah.
So like they're more in tune with the earth because God knows how long they've been here.
Yo, I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
them, the Yetis, those
Yeah,
are real
it's all
creatures.
the
yeah.
same thing,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
different. It's like Chinese and
Exactly,
American or
yeah,
black
yeah.
and
You
Spanish.
have to watch the TV show Fringe.
I've heard of it.
I've
Watch
heard of it
that
too.
show. So it talks about John Noble is in it and he plays like this professor, right? But he's kind of like cuckoo, right? So
Or so we think.
Yeah. So then there's a FBI agent that gets him out of like the cuckoo nest that he's in with his son's permission or whatever. And as you start watching, you find out that there's another Earth, like a parallel universe that can be accessed and whatnot. And as you watch it, like a lot of these things, like certain portals, it also talks about like a sensory deprivation tank and
Yes,
You know what's
yes.
crazy?
Like the Hollow Earth theory. You know
Well,
how people say that's real
So
too.
the Hollow Earth. So that's what I found out. It's called more of like so basically
Inner
it's like
Earth.
in Earth.
Inner
It's more
Earth.
caverns that is inside the Earth because there's more oceans. This is like a fact. More ocean water inside the Earth than not. So again, eventually you get down. It gets like really hot with the magma, and then you get down to a certain point. Like I know, this is what they say, and this is who actually came up and met with the Royal Society in Germany in 1935, where blonde hair, blue eyes. So like okay,
Yeah, yeah.
before the Anunnaki and that, all these people came to Earth, there was let's say untainted humans.
Yes, these are the
But
whites, right? They're considered the whites.
They have whites, they have a Mediterranean, they have
It's
a
like
Chinese,
Palladius.
they have a black that looks gold, right?
So speaking about these UFO files, right? So what comes out in it is that there's what they're acknowledging is that there's 4 types of beings.
Which is
Okay.
such bullshit.
So
'cause
there's
there's
the
so much
Yeah, I
more.
think there's more. The
There's
reptilians.
like 1,000
Which the
more.
reptilians are the ones
Aquatic.
accordingly are supposedly running the world.
So it's
the
like
reptilians.
Draco, really.
Yeah, the Draco.
The same
reptilians.
thing. So there's that. There's Palladians.
The Palladians. Those are the ones that look like they're
There's
white.
like Nordics.
Yes, the
but see,
Nordics. Those that I'm
then
thinking of the Nordics.
and then aquatics.
But see, the inner
So-
Earth people, what they realized was so
it's warm.
it was a priestess. Well, that and plus there was all cataclysms kept happening,
Yeah.
and B, the radiation from being out there, you're not getting bombarded inside.
No.
So they use like more crystal-based technology. There was them and the raptor beings. That's who the other species were. So they look at us like tainted because we got genetically engineered from
Yeah.
all these different races after that little.
So like back to the Anunnaki, right? So the Anunnaki, there was a whole bunch of different types of gods, right? Lowercase gods, like lowercase G.
Yeah.
And then there was one that was the uppercase G, right? He was like the head one. Then he sent like all his children
Minions,
here,
the minions. Yeah.
here, and they spread them out or whatever, and they were all doing like it also ties into the Adam and Eve story, right? So like Eden, where they had made the another word for it. I don't know if you ever heard of the demiurge.
Yes. Okay.
All right, so there's like the God, but the God is just source. He can't really do nothing,
Yeah.
right? So out of him were characteristics. There was a male characteristic and a female characteristic, right? And the female characteristic made the God of this earth, which is Satan, which is Lucifer, you know what I
Lucifer,
mean? And tempts and torments and like can't make you do something.
No, but it'll give you the lust and that temptation to maybe
but
want to
like,
do
see,
it.
this is the problem. Like when we talked to Bianca, like she said, there really is no per se like heaven and hell. There's demons and entities from other realms that are like what we would say from hell or demonic places. So like that's the whole like Adam Eve. Like I don't believe that bullshit. That's bullshit. Like we've had things on this planet way longer than that. I think that's just me personally. I'm not into that religious. There was a fucking guy, girl, and hell no. I think there's way more realms and dimensions and other factors. And just if you go to just the aliens alone.
Yeah.
That so like how do they? You know what I mean? Like
well the thing behind that is that aliens are really demons.
Dude, because there's actually really good aliens that are out there. That so like you can't say that. Like the Draco, yes,
they're evil. Yeah,
but like there's so many like there's
so then it'll
blue
also
avians.
come to
You ever
like
heard of
angels and demons. But again, that could be just
how this could also be misinterpretation.
characterize
Yes, how they interpreted it.
Exactly, it's an interpretation. Because think about even you mentioned Antarctica before.
Yes.
How is it that no one can agree on nothing in this world, but they agree on being cool and having shit there?
The Treaty of Versailles countries that don't agree on shit.
Nothing, but they all come on, man. All because of that explorer, that sailed there.
Admiral Byrd.
Yeah, but see, the Admiral Byrd, he never went there. So like that was no.
Well,
so
his journals said he did.
Well, the really Admiral Byrd's real thing was he took a fleet after World War II with Britain to go to Antarctica.
Okay.
Now they were on their way there until now the German, but not even Nazis, Germany secret societies. I told you
they blocked it.
They got anti-gravity technology. When they were heading there, he said in a news clip, he goes, they have ships that go the pole to pole in seconds. They have weapons.
Their technology was
so basically
insane for
they
that
had
time
energy.
period.
Weapons, and they basically lit them up and said, do not come back here.
Yeah.
And that's why if you ever see the picture of the 4 UFOs over the White House, that was supposed to be Germany saying to them, like, listen, that's when Paperclip was having, like, listen, if you don't work with us, since you guys don't want to tell your people, we will disclose this.
We'll do it ourselves.
So that was supposedly them. And that's when they went to Admiral Byrd, was going there. And got lit up and was like, okay, he's seen stuff, but he never went into a hole. Like that's a hole. There's not just a hole that gets you there.
Well, what his journal said is that they took the ships there and then he went out for a flight and went past the wall. Yeah. Right. And
but that gets into the flat Earth shit.
That goes into that theory.
But there were a whole bunch of other continents and Green Plush Village and just a whole bunch of land.
Well, because we don't know what Antarctica really looks like. Yeah. I heard that's what I'm saying.
Because even like what's on the map, they say that's not really what it is.
Because Antarctica is so much so first off, like the Anunnaki were there and they got froze over. So a lot of the technology and a lot of the beings were actually like in like cryostasis that they opened up that they thought were going to be like. Because say the elite on this world, like the Rothschilds, they came from that bloodline. They thought they were going to open up and they were going to be like, "Oh, you saved us," and they were like, woke up and was like, "Why did you do this? And what is going on?"
Yeah, like what is this?
They were like disgusted.
So like we all learn like the round Earth, right? Yeah. But if you look at like internet cable lines, the sea lines, and you look at flight patterns when you're going places. Right, it doesn't add up
at all
to where.
So what are you trying to say about the flat? Like you believe in it?
So I don't think that. I mean, you know, from if you look at the Earth, right, Pangea looks like it's something that it could be, right? That all the continents fit in like a puzzle.
They
right?
connected, yeah.
If you look at the way it is, it looks like that's what it could be, right? But if you look at sea lines, right, like the internet lines, and you take a map at it, and then you take a look at a map of like flight patterns. If somebody's trying to go, if you look at a map, you think it would make more sense to just go straight across, but they go all the way up north and then they come back down southeast. And that doesn't really make sense from looking at the map as we know it. So I think that there's like, you know, the map itself is weird, right?
Yeah, I don't.
So,
I mean,
so like Antarctica doesn't show up on a map until like 1795.
Well, now, Dan, I got to ask you
But
a
if
million
you
dollar
but
question.
if you look at a 1500s map, it
I've
has
seen all that.
Antarctica in
Yeah,
depth.
But Dan, let me ask you a question. What do you think about other planets then? Is all planets flat Earths or flat planets?
I don't think it's flat. I think it's pancake.
No, I'm saying, do you think all planets are like that then?
probably not.
Because like, is from the space? That's what I'm saying. From space program, not our space program, but the one higher up. Nobody's ever said, "Hey, these are not round."
Well, what I do know,
spheres.
what I do know is anytime we've seen a photo from like
Earth, it's
the
always that
ISS,
same image.
It's the fisheye lens.
Yeah, it's always
that
that same
gives it
image.
some roundness.
Yeah. Have you guys seen though the maps that claim that it's a flat Earth, and then it also claims that we're technically in a
a sphere, like a
dome.
dome.
what do they call it? Yeah, not a dome, but it's a. Jeez, there's
That shit is
there's a term
retarded.
for
Get the
it.
fuck
Where like
outta
there's
here.
water above us and
Yes,
water below us.
Yeah, listen.
Like to me, like that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's
but
a little
listen,
crazy. You
listen,
know what I mean?
Who was it? Was it you that told me like, okay, no, somebody where we were with was like, okay, the only way flat Earth kind of makes sense if you take a cord and you spin it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That flat surface looks like a spear now. Which I was like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. But do I think we're in a dome we can't get out of?
No.
No
Yeah, I don't
way.
think so
People have been
either.
coming in now. Just look at the UFO
Yeah.
been going on.
Think about
What do you
that.
think? Like, unless
Well-
they can pierce the dome, we can't.
Well, a lot of people believe that the UFOs come from beneath. They come from
Well,
water.
they do have a lot of ocean
because they have
bases.
ocean bases. Yeah,
Yeah, but like,
they gotta come from out there.
So
you know?
what is called, what you're referring to is the firmament.
The
Firmament, yes, the
there you
firmament,
go. That's the
firmament,
word.
firmament.
Which,
Because
hey,
I-
listen, it is in the Bible. They do mention the
Right.
firmament. That's the
I
only.
know, the
That's the
Bible.
only fact that I'm like,
Not all the Bible.
So-
it kind of makes you think a little
so-
bit. But the Bible could have been, you know what I mean? Like, think about
Bible's
it.
been tampered.
Rewritten and tampered,
Yeah, the
yeah.
real
So-
true version we don't know.
So,
Exactly.
The closest version from what I heard is the Ethiopian Bible. That
Yes.
has all the, because the Vatican's a weird
the
place.
African Bible
Like the
is great.
Vatican archives supposedly have beings. There's just miles of like a whole bunch of different things. They got the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, so
they
what-
found
what I
it. They
heard
found the Ark of the
was-
Covenant in the 80s, supposedly.
So what I heard was,
And the reason they say the firmament is if you see a spaceship go up, it doesn't just go up.
It doesn't go up. It starts
goes
to
up
curve.
and bends.
Yeah. Yeah.
well, put it this way, like, so I
And
heard the
that's why
Vatican.
that's why when they blow up, it's hitting the firmament.
Yeah.
So like, I heard the Vatican, like where they store all that stuff you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
is, bro, like the scientist went down there because he had to look at something that they didn't know what it was, and he said there was glass, like he doesn't know it was glass, what it was made out of, like basically like. Okay, you seen Superman? When
Yes,
they
yes.
locked him up, it looked like that.
Okay,
Stacked up,
wow.
hundreds feet tall with all technology and like books and all this stuff that we've heard of that they have locked up and hidden.
Yeah.
And like even like UFO type stuff because
Mm-hmm.
he went there to go check out something they didn't know, some type of orb thing they had that they couldn't figure out what it was. And he said he went in there. He said he went miles and miles of these glass rooms, just like and remind bro T to T. What's the
Like Superman and like 13 Ghosts. Like the way
Yes,
they just
yes,
have them in
yes,
glass,
exactly,
encased in some thick ass glass, where like bulletproof
but
glass or
he
something.
said it wasn't glass. He didn't know what to call it. He
It's
said-
probably some plexi or something like, you know,
Yes.
like, or whatever.
Well,
it
I
could be
mean,
something that's
there's
not even
a-
on the periodic table.
Right, because like what was his name? The guy that was on Joe Rogan that talked about Element One.
Yeah.
Bob Lazar.
Bob
Yeah,
Lazar.
Bob
He
Lazar,
talked about
he's
that.
another one.
He talked about that shit in the '80s,
Yes.
bro.
Yeah,
And
man.
they said, "Dog, you're
He
crazy."
took them to S4 and they showed.
and then they synthesized
Shit.
it in 2012.
Yeah, but how great is it though that like even though it's years later, man, Bob Lazar he's being proven correct.
The problem
what's
is
up.
Bob Lazar.
But I think he's like ran with some shit.
bro, because he's been very successful. Everybody else they have murdered and killed. They
So-
let him run.
So do you think that he's one of those like propaganda people
no,
working for them?
I think they let him out on purpose and let him say a little bit.
Okay.
But like he's been like now look at him doing like
Yeah,
they
yeah.
let him do
They're
that.
doing documentaries and all. That's what I'm
Yes,
saying. Like they're letting him.
They
Yeah,
let
yeah,
him
yeah.
do that.
Yeah, get that
I
information
think
out there.
I think there's certain people that are like plants.
Yes.
You know what I'm
He's
saying?
not a plant.
So,
I
so
think
it's like
he's just-
it's like that guy Neil deGrasse Tyson,
Tyson,
right?
okay.
He's a big astrophysicist, but his thing like when he talks about, well,
He's a scout.
I've never
I hate
seen an
that guy.
alien. I've never seen an alien.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and then he's like, well, don't you think if an alien came, he'd want to talk to the astrophysicist? Probably not, dog.
Or probably not you.
Yeah, not
dopey
you
fuck.
specifically. Like, you know who's
Yeah, I
coming
know.
here to come see
Yeah,
you.
I know. The guy's on TV. Get out of here.
Oh,
So,
man.
so let me ask you this: 9/11.
Okay.
What do you think?
Oh my God, I've had this conversation with one of my best friends, and I honestly believe, man, it was an Israel inside job because there's even evidence of these five guys that were seen in Jersey or outside of Jersey.
I've seen that. Yeah, but the
jumping
van-
around a van,
Well, also-
jumping all happy, and a lady from her window saw it happen.
Yes, but
And not only that,
you know who took over the contract for the security for the World Trade Center was Israel's security team.
Yeah.
That's who sells explosives.
and not only that, dude, if those planes really did come into contact, it wouldn't have exploded that way. That was a demolition job.
Yes, well-
and what about the other
Building
building?
7.
Building
Building 7 was BBC was talking about Building 7 was still behind him. And number 2 is CIA pilots said, listen, they went on file saying you can't get a commercial plane to fly like that because the
No.
instruments won't let it. Now I found out something awesome on the show on Gaia. I forget the name of it, but what's it called? They talked about in the 80s they had technology. Or not, he had a patent. So say if a hijacker took over a plane, they would pump sleeping gas into it.
Oh,
But
okay.
eventually, if you pump enough, you just fall asleep and die.
Yeah.
And then not from the tower, from an undisclosed place, they could pretty much control the plane and land it wherever. Wow. So...
Well,
I-
also that they didn't find the black box, right?
what I'm saying is
So
they
that-
land those planes at three planes landed at 3 different military installations. And then if you hear the first couple witnesses, because it's always the beginning before they get it straight, they said they seen no windows on the plane. They had boat out bottoms, which are military planes, which are smaller. That's why when they showed you the engine, it was different than what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like 10 times bigger.
Than what it was.
So I like that you said Israel because I think I think, and hopefully it goes somewhere. But I think a lot of America is waking up to the fact that our
Yes,
politicians are owned by Israel.
And
Right?
listen-
like JFK, before AIPAC was called AIPAC, it was called something else, and he wanted them to register as a foreign lobby.
Exactly, and they
right,
didn't want
and then they
to.
killed him.
Yeah.
Right, and there's been no president, and he also wanted to put us back on the gold standard instead of Federal Reserve.
Exactly. Nobody wanted that either.
So I think I hope.
Remember who
that-
created the Federal
that-
Reserve too? Not that they did, but just the way
I-
it was created. Why wouldn't he want
Which
to do
is
the
why
gold
our
standard?
dollar, why it's almost like it's the plan, right? So
Yeah.
like let the dollar decline, so they come up
Exactly.
with the digital dollar, so they get that mark of the beast, and then they own you.
that was one of the biggest false flags. Titanic went down.
Oh my God, that was.
And then the Federal
that was an
Reserve went in
insurance
place.
ploy, and to kill several people on
Yes.
there that were going against what was trying to be
So
done.
I
man.
guarantee that's why when
the
they
wealthiest
started,
man in the world was on that.
JP
freaking-
Morgan.
Except
Yeah.
JP Morgan.
was not. But you know what happened was
And he
No,
also,
it was another. There was another man. I don't know his name exactly, but he was like the wealthiest guy. I think J.P. Morgan was going against him. That's why J.P. Morgan wasn't on there, right? was he on there? or
no,
was-
he wasn't on.
no,
there.
That's
but
what I'm saying, he missed.
He owned it.
He owned
Yeah,
it.
he owned it. Yeah. So what happened was, remember when they started looking for the wreckage? You know what came out?
The movie.
The movie, which became the documentary with the whole iceberg theory.
Yeah.
Which no, it was a bomb. That's all I always heard. It was a bomb. I would remember we heard it wasn't even the Titanic.
And it also
No, it was
yeah, they
because
changed
there
the
was
name.
two.
Changed the
There
name.
was two of them. That was supposed to be another one, but it was all for insurance purposes to get the money.
So
Why
like,
would you say-
Britannic.
yes.
What happened?
Britannic.
Yeah. Because
so the richest man on the Titanic, his name was Colonel John Jacob Astor.
yeah.
And he was an investor, and he was going
Exactly.
against
Yes.
Morgan. But J.P. Morgan also pulled the plug on Tesla when he had Warden Flip out here because he was
yeah.
free energy. Fuck that.
Tesla realized that you could put freaking light bulbs into the ground and
So,
then
that,
get them.
so then not only that, then it brings you to Donald Trump's uncle.
Yes.
That was in
the one that got his chest
trunks.
with all the trunks with all the
the
information.
death ray, all that.
Yeah, but see what I heard Tesla, which he was getting fed him a lot. Everything was pretty much everything crazy.
Oh, it was in his
is
mind.
brain,
he
yes.
was on a freak.
Which he
was
said
on
he
a
used to get
frequency.
mental images.
Well, he said you
blasted
want to
in.
know the truth of the universe, think in the form of energy, frequency, and waves,
Yeah.
right? But then there's also I don't know if you guys heard of that book, but it's something like Baron Trump talking
Yeah, well,
about.
I was just gonna bring that up. I was letting you guys go, but yeah, the whole Baron Trump theory.
Being
And he's
the
a
last
time
president.
traveler coming back, and look at his lineage and his family. It's like, oh my God,
and had
It's
a
crazy.
mentor named Don.
Yeah,
like,
it was his
what?
dad, and then the whole grandfather. Dude, it's insane. I haven't read the book, but I've
But-
read up the synopsis
but-
and everything. I'm like, jeez.
But if you're just going with, just for fun, and you want to go with, all right, maybe Tesla did figure out how to do
Something,
time
yeah.
travel, right? Because the book dates back to around then. Maybe that is some form of that.
yeah,
You know, but I
some
think
truth.
you were talking something about time travel.
Okay, so time traveling when we did get technology. So first off, it wasn't like okay. So what happened was once we got the anti-gravity technology and we started. This is a secret space program, not NASA, of course. What happened was we were coming back. So one time in space, you learn how to figure that out, right?
Yeah.
So they were coming back. Say they were leaving and coming back to Earth, right? They were coming back at different time periods. So
Right,
and then also the pilots were aging or de-aging.
So they were like missing their mark.
Well, no. Yeah. Also, they had to get like a special like force field or something to not get affected by that.
The time dilution.
Yeah. So what happened was they were like, oh, so once they started messing with time, there was two things. Time will always course correct.
Yes.
Yes, you can split the timelines, but there's certain events in time that always will happen.
Yes, they're
You
gonna
can't-
occur.
You
Which
can't.
is
It's inevitable.
crazy
It's
because
inevitable. What's
even-
meant to happen is gonna
What's
happen.
Yes.
What's crazy is like we would say like Stan Lee took a lot of this shit and put it into his comic
Yeah.
books. So even with these incursions,
Incursions,
they
yes.
got to
The-
fix
yeah,
the
the
incursion to
incursion,
put
yeah.
the timeline
Yes,
back.
exactly. So like
dude.
it's always time of course correct, and then like there's certain there's certain events where you go back in time. So like they have like a Project Looking Glass, which I
Yeah.
talked about before on the podcast,
Yeah.
which is like a tablet thing. You can go back and see past events, but the further back you get in like say like the biggest one they bring up is Jesus. So say you believe Jesus died on the cross. That's the way you're going to see it. Say I believe he didn't die on the cross.
That's
And
how
that-
you're gonna see it.
You're going to see it. So that means
So
we're
it's subjective.
altering.
Subjective.
Yeah. We'll also know our perception is reality.
Yeah.
We're actually changing reality, and there's multiple timelines. And so like there's like branch timelines, like in Loki.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you know what I mean. And then what happens to those timelines? I don't know, but.
Well, they probably
Do they
like
get
you said,
pruned?
course
Do they get
corrected.
destroyed?
It's course correct.
How they
And then
said?
also that's where the Mandela effect takes place. So
Oh my
now
God, that's
have
another
so now that parallel Earths that you brought up before, so there's a parallel Earth. So obviously, say our Earth's here, and the further you get away from that Earth, the more weird and different it gets.
So
Yes.
like there's another Earth that I'm sitting there, you're sitting there, he's sitting here.
Well, meaning like so like there's the Earth that they found. So they have like a portal.
It's like, yo, you know who does it well? Rick and Morty.
Yes, that's actually perfect. Rick and Morty does do it. So, yes, from further Rick gets away from his closest Earth, it gets more and more wild. So now the Earth, they have like a portal technology. I don't know if it's called portal or Stargate, whatever the hell they made. So they make it where you go through and you die, and it copies you on the other side to get to a parallel Earth. The closest Earth to us is.
Watch Fringe.
Yes, so it's probably close to that. So what happens is not Earth, World War II, Germany won, and Roswell never happened. So they're not in advance. It's a very bleak world.
And the
You know who-
swastika is
you
like
know
it's
who
like a
else
symbol
did
of
that
hope or
good,
something
bro?
for them.
no,
If you watch Peacemaker season 2,
Yes,
Peacemaker. That's what I'm saying. Where in that one the swastika, like they were all Nazis. If you see that
Yeah, but
episode,
see,
they
but
were,
also I
but
heard
they
the
were
word-
good.
the
Like they were
the
meant to be
Earth wasn't
good.
as technology advanced because Roswell and a bunch of alien stuff that happened. So we're giving them technology. But anyway, what happens is, say when people are coming back, so they say they come back to this Earth. What happened? They started realizing, say they're in the bathroom, all of a sudden it would be like a shift, and they'd be like in the bathroom, like it would be merging, like so they're
merging what's happening.
start
bleeding
bleeding
through.
in together.
And that,
so-
well, Alex Jones talked about that. And he said that's what dark matter is.
Yeah, that's what.
Other realities bleeding
Oh,
through.
let me ask you
the
guys
air.
both.
Speaking of that,
on,
the thing about CERN. What do you guys think about that?
you took it right-
Do you guys
you
think?
read
You know,
my
people
mind.
believe that this is that basically CERN destroyed the world and destroyed the.
You know what's crazy?
They destroyed reality with the. I
What's
forget
that
the name of the thing.
particle
Oh my God.
accelerator.
What's
Yes,
that movie?
the
That movie
particle
that
accelerator.
came out. Oh God.
Well,
They
there's
had
also one of those
they had
right
stupid
here in
monster.
Brooklyn.
Remember the monster movie? It was they had the camera. What was it called?
Oh,
They made Cloverfield.
Cloverfield, yes.
They had a third one where they have a particle acceleration
Accelerator,
thing
yeah.
that they're doing in space, and they bleep out the world, and they bleep out Earth into another dimension, like another parallel universe. Then they bring back that monster and fuck up the whole Earth.
Yeah.
So like,
Right, Stranger Things shit too.
Yeah.
well, also like, but the same thing, they're using a particle
Accelerator,
accelerator,
yeah. And the dark
they
matter
basically-
is what's causing
yes,
that.
Just moved Earth and then brought in all this different stuff because
Yeah.
when they brought it back, they like
Nothing
brought back-
correlated,
They,
yeah.
they brought back stuff from like other
Areas,
That's where
yeah.
the monster came.
That's where you
in.
get like a lot, like the Mandela effect and the different names, like the Berenstein Bears
Yeah,
and this
yeah,
and
yeah.
that. Like
And
just a lot of
the
things.
cornucopia with the fruit of the loom.
Yes, exactly.
Nelson
the
Mandela
cornucopia.
died or didn't die in jail, and it's just like a lot of weird things.
Yeah.
Luke, I am your father.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like certain things people remember.
And I heard
certain-
Star Wars. That's what the space programs like. Like
Yeah.
it's like how they have a dark fleet that work with the Draco, and like their ships look like that. They're all white German descent.
Well, what I've noticed is like a lot of these people like George Lucas and a lot of these people that have these successful
entertainment,
things,
man. It's meant to-
but they also have somebody close to them that worked as a private contractor with the government.
Yes.
Because essentially, entertainment is just a way of conditioning us. You know what I mean? And
Well,
then,
television,
so we're not
here-
shocked when we do see some spaceship. You know what I mean? So they condition us through movies
I
and
said
you know,
so I said this
comic
like,
books, stuff that we
God,
consume.
yeah.
You know?
So I said this about like COVID-19, right?
Yeah.
Like before they said, masks are going to be on your face, they would say it over and over on TV. Listen, they might end up, it might be a thing that you have to put a mask on. So you hear it so
conditioned
much
us,
times
yeah.
that you get conditioned that so when they say this is what you're doing, you're not like, yo, fuck you.
Yeah, you
You know what I
actually
mean?
do it.
So the same thing happens with a chick, bro. I can be with a chick and be like, bitch, you ain't shit, you ain't shit, you ain't shit.
She's gonna think she ain't
Eventually,
shit.
she's gonna start to believe it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then if somebody comes around and says, yo, you're beautiful, she's gonna be like, what the fuck? do
She
you
won't
want
know
from
how to
me?
accept it or how
Right.
to take it. I mean,
So,
that
like,
happens all the time.
conditioning
dude.
happens to us from when we're young, bro. And again, it starts with the McGraw-Hill textbooks,
Yeah, man.
bro. This is what we want you to learn.
Dude, people don't realize what that man did is the largest psyop. Basically, I mean, you could call it, I guess, his assignment. You know what I mean? It was a mission, biggest psyop mission ever in the history of our, of humanity. Because think about it, the education system was based on whatever he wanted to be there. You know that he pick
wanted-
and chose
he wanted worker
information on Israel and this and that, all the Holocaust, all this stuff that they put in there for us to learn.
So now, like, even
And they took out things that we weren't up to.
This is really Patreon because I wanted to get into more of like the German Nazi
Yeah, we
theories
could-
about because it really
There's a lot of things that correlate there too.
that weren't
Just how they think about it, they would destroy the German. Like I feel like at that point in time, whether Nazis or not, the Germans were the
Yes.
smartest people.
Yes.
They had the best technology.
Bro, the tunnel
How is it that they're
systems-
wiped? All that technology is wiped away.
listen. No, well, we had
Think of-
paperclip.
That's what
We
I'm
took
saying.
the best,
That's
the
science.
They
best.
took everything, right?
We
Let-
took
let-
it.
and gave them carte blanche.
No,
Do what
we
you
know
do.
what happened was we
Go where
took
you
them,
want.
and so what was explained to me was Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
It was like that where we let them in and didn't say we didn't put no restrictions on,
No.
and they went to all the private contractors and said, "Listen, we have all this technology.
Yeah.
we're gonna give the military the shit technology, and we'll give you because the asteroid belt out there,
Yeah.
it's got platinum and gold and silver,
Exactly.
just like on Earth, because it's all about money.
Yeah.
So that's how you get them out there." And then what I always heard that humans, when we take alien technology, because you remember aliens, say you've been around for millions of years, you've been this advanced.
Yeah.
You're not creative anymore.
No.
We are so creative. We could take what they give us and make it 10 times better.
Yeah.
Like we are like, it's crazy. And
Because
people always ask,
we're essentially worker bees that were created for these people.
well,
Whether to mine
I'm
gold,
saying-
to do
no,
this.
not even worker bees. We're actually rising up.
Oh, we're
and
getting
becoming
above
our
that.
own, like,
But
Okay.
it's not just that, it's also our consciousness
Yes.
is
Yes,
rising up.
yes. Well, people are being.
As
they're
they say,
waking
I
up.
mean, they
Yeah.
also say it's like the age of the Aquarius, which
Yes.
is like waking up and shit.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
now we're talking
Aquarius
about-
too,
yeah,
Aqua Gang.
Yeah.
But now
let's
we're talking
go.
about like, okay, so now it's ascending.
Yes.
So now we're
Yes.
third density beings.
Yes.
And then, like, to get to that fourth density, it's like, or I always heard there was going to be a shift where certain people were going to go and certain people were going to be stuck here.
Yes, the
and there's
rapture.
supposed to be some big cataclysm, and,
Yeah.
certain people are going to ascend to a higher plane.
Well, that's
some
where,
people-
I mean,
stay
and they talk about in the
in the
Bible,
physical.
it talks about the 144,000 that will be chosen to go.
Really?
You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's so much, like, and that's what's weird about the shit is, like, you try to fucking find some truth in it, and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you just get more questions.
No, 100%. That's why I
And-
like news literacy, man, because you don't want to just read one article or one thing about it. You read so much
but
that
it's
you're
also-
bombarded with the information.
But it's also like your boy said, when you told him about some shit, he was like, yeah, dog.
Oh yeah, my boy was
I
just
people
like,
gotta be receptive
I
to
showed
it.
him so much stuff. We were saying the work
He's
truck.
like,
We're
yeah,
actually working during COVID, so it was just us
just
downtime.
gonna fuck up my reality.
Right. So it was two things we did in downtime: watch Rick and Morty, and I would show him stuff on BitChute. This is when they did the whole band on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he went, "Bro, I believe you, but it's messing up my little bubble I live in."
And they'd
I
rather
don't
be
wanna
in
know.
that.
And he's like, I don't want.
But see-
He wants the blue pill
Yes.
and he wants to live in the Matrix.
Exactly.
I want that. I had
I
that
want the
red
red
pill
pill,
since
yeah.
2006, and I'm like, yo, I want to.
I wanna know the truth.
I'd
What's
rather
going
know
on?
the truth at any
Yeah.
cost. I don't care how bad it
yeah,
rocks my
bro.
world. I'd rather know the truth than live in this fucking bubble
come
with the
on.
news and media.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't give a shit about sports. I don't give a shit about football. I don't give a shit about baseball because it's all distraction.
Yeah, I
Like,
get what
it
you're
really
saying.
is.
I mean, I personally love that stuff because I'm a
I know, I'm
diehard
not
fan.
saying
No,
I'm
no,
just- it's just-
no, I
like,
get
I
it.
like
Come on, man.
UFC, but, like,
We're all able to believe and love what we want.
yeah,
But
it's
but
just-
you're right, though, dude.
No,
it
listen,
is.
you're a
They are
sports guy,
distractions.
and I don't know. You're a sports guy.
Think
kinda,
about it. We
not
go
really,
and
right?
spend our money on
Do you
something that
think
doesn't
this-
do anything back
now,
for us.
Now, do you think like I believe sports? Like I think the football is rigged.
A lot of people believe that it's scripted, like the NBA.
Yeah.
Well, dude,
You
even
see the
recently.
movie Him recently?
No, I haven't seen it. It's on Netflix, though.
Shaq fucked around and was like, "Yeah, it's scripted." Like,
Yeah.
so it's like you don't know if it's true or
Yeah,
not.
even
You
Arian
didn't-
Foster on his podcast has said that it's scripted. But dude, recently, like the NBA, they did a promotion where they showed the Cavs and the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, and Game 7 hasn't even been played yet. So how do you know that it's the Cavs and the Knicks in the
Listen,
Eastern Conference
you
Finals?
know who behind-
Well, they slip up, like it's scripted. Sometimes
Exactly,
they fuck up,
shit
and then that's where
happens.
we've realized, like, oh shit.
And listen, the Super Bowl rituals is so disgusting
with the
how they
number.
don't even care anymore.
The,
I'm talking about,
the
like, way
colors
they-
of the numbers
just
tell you the
no,
team.
not even that. I'm talking about the ritual that
Oh,
they,
yeah.
they do at
Yes,
that halftime
yes,
show.
That is
yes.
true, though.
And,
It's
like,
all evil.
That is true.
Yes,
like
the colors,
if it's,
I looked
if it's
into
like
that.
Super Bowl 54,
Yeah.
it was so, and they come out with that a year.
And like
A
look
year in
look
advance.
look at hip hop, bro. I've been watching is this YouTube channel called The Truth Is, and he goes into just like all the these like Young Thug and all these fucking whack bro. They just put this satanic shit on me like right now. They're not even hiding
You never see the
anymore.
pictures that they take and they do
Bro,
this
with
and
the
that.
checkerboard floors. I'm
Yeah.
talking about satanic imagery everywhere.
Oh, it's all over.
Like it is
Lady
so
Gagas
bad.
of the world, all these people,
Oh,
dude.
my
It's
God.
crazy.
Apparently, 3-6. This is in the 90s.
3-6 Mafia, yep.
Yeah.
Mafia apparently recorded over an album. They sampled like an album of like a murder.
Yep.
It was like a snuff. Like
A snuff
Yes.
film, really?
Not a snuff film, but a snuff album.
Wow,
Okay.
like
And
it was
they
all
sampled-
audio.
Yep.
It's like a band album.
Yep,
You
yep.
can't find it anywhere. It's like a thing they did in Memphis, like dark.
And you know
art
what?
shit.
Yep.
Wow.
And they apparently sampled from in their first album.
From that.
snuff.
And guess what else they were using? They were using Ouija boards.
Yeah.
They were using that too. So they were very,
Because-
very
That's what I'm
satanic.
saying. It's not. I don't think it's new. I think it's
No. I'm
Nah,
saying, I'm
yeah.
saying now they just put it like right in your face.
Well,
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you
Well,
see the
there-
music
there was
videos,
that-
it's like,
Again, it's conditioning.
There
you
was
know what
that
I mean?
movie
It's-
that just came out, Sinners, right?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
That like talked about
Yeah, they talked about that.
because when you play songs, right? It's on
Music,
certain
well, think about who's
frequencies.
the god of
frequencies,
music.
but it's also frequencies,
Yeah.
Yes.
right? So you're invoking certain.
well,
energies.
you know what?
energy with
Even
those
I heard. I
frequencies.
don't know, Ben, if you ever heard about this in wrestling, WWE. You ever heard about? Because they're billionaires too. The whole
Yeah.
There's certain satanic.
Within the
things.
entertainment and how
What?
they
I wouldn't be
promote.
surprised.
Yeah, not
Right,
at all.
I
Not surprised
dived
at
a
all,
little bit
man.
into it, and I was like, with Vince McMahon, look at all this stuff. Like I heard, he's a billionaire, bro.
Yeah, man.
None of those guys. I've heard there's some certain
Well,
things
it's also,
over the years.
it's also like a certain degree of blackmail goes into when you get
Yes,
to those
yes.
positions of
Well,
power.
to that level, yes.
Yes, like listen, everybody levels up, and then everybody does what they have to do. They
You,
don't.
you gotta
But
sacrifice certain
then
things.
it's also like, are you sure? Oh, you want that job? Remember,
Yeah.
I gave you that job, and if you don't do what I say, they're gonna see. that.
Listen, XXTentacion,
The consequences.
when he did the ritual, I heard the
Yeah.
phone call, and
It scared him. He didn't want to do it.
No, he did it.
Oh, he did?
He did it on the phone. His buddy said, listen, she told me I'll spell out the end of it. The ladies, it was actually Hecate, I shouldn't be saying it. Oh, no, was it her or something else? Or maybe it was Hecate. But it's a jailhouse phone call, and he does the ritual, and he says the whole thing, and then boom, he gets out 2 days later.
Wow.
He beat his girlfriend up bad. Like, he was cooked. And then his boy, I forget the rapper's name, Slum something, he was saying, he was trying to sacrifice me. And that's why he was distant, and right after that, he got
'Cause
killed.
that's the thing. You gotta sacrifice people.
Gotta sacrifice. All about the
listen,
sacrifice.
I mean, I spoke about there's that.
That's
straight-
what drove Kanye crazy. The
Well,
fact that he had to
Kanye,
sacrifice his
man.
mom, and that's why he's.
Yeah, well,
I've
there's
been-
this straight.
I heard that too, but Drake's also part of that.
Yeah, they
Look
said
at
that Drake
look,
put a hit
now,
on him.
Look, Drake is the biggest plant of plants.
Right.
I mean, listen, I'm a huge Drake fan. I love his music, but I
there's a
will
lot.
admit,
I was
the
just listening to him
owl,
before.
the way he does the thing, there's certain things
Of
where I'm like, come
course.
on, man.
Symbolism.
The symbolism.
Listen,
man.
Jay-Z ain't even hiding the shit no more. I don't know
Oh
what
yeah,
it's like.
Jay-Z does the, you know what I mean?
No, forget,
Come on.
forget all that, bro. I've heard. Listen, he's.
He did a video with Abramovich. That lady
Yes,
Abramovich, bro.
bro.
She's a huge satanic cult person. Come
Is
on,
she the
man.
fashion lady?
Yeah,
She
does.
Abrina,
Lady,
her name
her
is
Lady Gaga.
something
does-
Abramovich. Abrina
So, Abrina
Abramovich.
Ivanovich, you're saying
So,
right?
Yeah.
but I think that's a big degree of why Diddy got what he got. He only
Did he
got-
talk
Look
about
at
it? He goes,
Jay-Z.
he asked his son, he goes, where's Jay?
He didn't get as much as he did because he kept the secrets.
Yes.
Yes, dude, they found hundreds of video cameras and audio, all recordings at those
Diddy's
houses,
house, yeah.
and
Nothing to Jay-Z, and you know Jay-Z
no,
was involved.
I'm saying is they didn't
Well,
release any of that.
No, they didn't release
too.
anything,
Bro,
no.
I think LeBron's gonna.
LeBron people, yeah, there's a
LeBron.
lot
No,
of people,
so
bro.
I
Look at
said
Jordan.
it-
I heard stuff about Jordan.
So,
They're all-
and he's
come on.
been quiet the whole time, though.
Yeah,
You
oh,
know?
I'm saying Jordan got
But
popped.
that's
Jordan's
why he-
quiet about
he felt
everything.
No,
bad.
Jordan
got-
never
I
speaks
heard we
out
got
of
caught
things.
on boat with some little.
But,
Really?
I'm saying that's why he felt. I mean,
Gambling,
there's-
his dad being killed for gambling, him going to play baseball. Come on,
Yeah.
bro. That was a suspension that they made it go that way because he was the face of the NBA. You got to think
he
about
was
it.
up to no good.
He was
bro.
on the
Yeah,
logo,
dude.
dog. He was the logo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's like a lot. I mean, even Kai Cenat, right? So they're like, you get
Yeah,
to
what's up with that?
You
He-
get to a certain point, and then you got to cut your hair.
Yeah.
Bro, him and the other
Crazy.
boy,
And
I
then
just
now he did that whole month.
showers
He
together.
did that whole month stream, and now he hasn't streamed since.
Oh, he said he's done.
Yeah, he went into fashion.
Look,
It's
look at
like-
Logan Paul. He did the Woods thing with they saw the hanging.
yeah.
And then magically after that, that's when he really blew up.
Really blew out. Look how much money he's got
Mr.
now, bro.
Beast.
Yeah,
People
Mr.
People
Beast,
think Mr.
dude.
Beast just he grinded.
Oh,
the
and he had a whole bunch of like pedophiles on his
yeah,
camera too.
bro.
Dude.
He listen.
That's another one, man. Come on, dude. That
bro,
whole
you don't
water,
make
that
it
whole
to this
water thing. It's like,
level.
come on, you don't need that much money to build all those water plants
No,
and this
I
and
do.
that.
I
Like, come
mean,
on.
that's-
They better be the most technologically advanced water plants I've ever
bro,
seen in the
it's-
world for that
like
kind
you
of
make
money.
people. What was it? People that people hear. Oh no, blind people see again. That was bullshit.
Yeah, but what they say is like there's always like you get invited to the room, right?
Yes.
And then there's a door, and it's like if you go through that door, there's certain shit beyond that door, and you've
Yeah,
heard
if you
people
see
talk
it,
about it.
yeah.
Like Cat Williams had talked about it on a Club Shay Shay. He was like, "Yo, I'm letting all this shit go." Like, he's like,
Yeah,
he's like,
but see, Cat
Cat just gets a little too emotional sometimes. where
No. You remember, Cat did all that, and he was getting shit on. Then all of a sudden, he came back. He's
that-
been quiet, and now his shit blown back up again.
Yeah, you saw he was on
he
Kevin
just
Hart
bought,
roast.
he just bought an army base.
Yeah. Listen. What happened? Like I think it happened
Oh
with
yeah,
Trump.
he killed it on that Kevin Hart roast.
And a lot of that stuff is they come back to you. My ears ringing. I'm like, mother. That's a sign. But anyway,
Well, Bianca said that's a spirit going through you.
something just went through me then because my ears ringing. But what's it called? Well, eventually, because he made too much noise, they probably went to him and said, "Listen,
Yeah.
either you shut up
Or here, take this.
or take this." And Cat Williams is stuck of getting it shoved up his ass, and he probably said, "Okay, I'll take the Netflix specials and the millions of dollars now."
Yeah.
Instead of getting beat up by little kids on fucking.
Yo, you saw that by a
Yeah, come on,
14-year-old
bro.
get beat the
He
fuck
had
up
some
by a
rough
14.
times getting pulled over.
Yeah,
now all of a sudden
dude.
he's chilling.
Because he went through that phase where he was all
Yes,
fucked
bro,
up, bro. He
because
got
he
beat up by a
was-
14-year-old. That
Now
kid
remember.
fucked him up,
I'm
bro.
just saying is look how when he was talking with that talk, everything was going bad.
Yeah.
Now he shut up. He's not
Well,
saying a lot of stuff anymore.
after that Club Shay Shay interview, I feel like everything's been on the rise for him since then.
Bro,
yeah,
he's been chilling, bro. He's been chilling.
He's been doing good, man.
Listen, yeah.
But he's
good
another
because-
one that tried at least to speak on the truth and tell you what's really
but
going
that's
on.
no good if you don't follow through. Which
Yeah, that's
listen,
true,
I get
that's
it.
true.
I get it. I'm not in that position where I'm offered multi-millions of dollars in my life to go back to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when your life's in shit, and then somebody says, "Hey, listen, we're gonna give you all this money. You just shut up.
Yeah.
Stop talking about this." Or you know what I mean? Like, so what are you gonna do if you're
Depending on where you are. Like,
you're even mentally broken at that point,
Yeah.
and now you give somebody.
Think about it. Like he says, and he's open about it. Yo, Kevin Hart is the guy that came in and essentially took everything that was meant for him. You know, because after Money Mike, man, he was on a crazy trajectory, man.
Yeah.
Oh, let me ask you guys both questions. This is something we never talked about in the podcast. Cloning.
Cloning. I mean, they did it with sheeps.
Well, no, I'm saying there's a company called Clonaid. Actually,
Oh, Clonaid.
Clonaid. So what I heard was they were cloning, which they figured out, which was the hardest part, is getting the consciousness into the
Yes.
next
Is that what
body.
you think with a lot of these people that's going on with like the Gucci Manes of the world?
Oh, of course.
And like Jim Carrey now, that fucking weird
Listen,
shit.
we've had cloning since like the sheeps was like the public thing. We've been cloning like so we figured out cloning, and the hardest part was getting
The
how do you
consciousness?
get the consciousness from this body to that body. Okay, what was that movie?
But I thought
What was the
cloning
movie?
doesn't have to come from an embryo and then grow into a thing.
No,
Because it says it
I'm
takes
saying
years.
you could grow that, but it's just like what was that movie? Get Out.
Yes, Get Out. Yes.
Getting Out.
Where people
No,
would put
no.
their consciousness in someone
Yes,
else.
remember
Get
the
Out.
black guy?
Yeah,
and he
Get
goes-
Out. Yeah. Oh, I can't
Right?
see. I want your eyes. And
Yes,
tries to go
so
into his
that's
head.
it. Getting the consciousness was the hardest part. You
Yeah.
could build the body up.
Yes.
And Speed do that. It was just once they figured that out, they were like,
Well,
aha.
well, they also, I just saw, Bill Gates is like funding this thing, right? About like,
Oh, I got a good Bill Gates.
about
Oh, hit with that fake
about
meat and all that.
yeah.
You know they've already rolled out. Like there's restaurants and places
Oh,
out there
bro,
they might
you
not
want-
even know, but they're serving fake meat.
You know what the best part about Bill
3D
Gates is?
printed meat.
And I'm
And that it's made with like a cancer cell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's why it's banned in Europe and all these other places because they found that there is
So-
a cancer cell that could give people cancer. Whether
Bill Gates-
whether it's immediate or it takes years, it can still give people cancer.
Bill Gates, there was a body specialist that went to Michelle Obama, all this, and he went to Bill Gates and his wife. Bill Gates, from them looking at, is a female, and his, or whatever the
Well,
hell.
it's also the Macron. Macron's wife is a female.
Yes, and
it's
they
always
do
been
this,
all
and these
over that.
families do
Macron,
this.
the guy from France.
And if
Yeah.
you look at him and his wife side by side,
Well, there's also been a clip that she said she was talking to. She was like as a black man, and she's talking about
Herself.
There's a clip that she let that.
no, I'm which we talking about? Michelle?
Michelle Obama.
Oh, Mike.
Well,
We
yeah,
talking
Mike,
about
yeah,
Obama?
'cause they say that she's a
No, I'm talking
woman.
about Bill,
Mike.
Bill Gates and whoever his wife is, or vice, the roles are switched. Actually, he's the female and she's the male.
Really?
Yes, and this is these sick families. These families
but
do
that's
this.
what I'm saying,
They
like,
do
that's
this to these
crazy.
kids, like the Rothschilds, like they
Yeah.
do this. It's controlled. Okay, so how you have to completely break somebody's psyche to do this.
Yeah.
MK Ultra, whatever you want to control.
Well, it's like the Winter Soldier. Like,
Yes,
like
yes.
I'd open
They
this.
can
I'd open this up and
Speak something and it can
I'd read a
switch you to
book.
someone else.
or you hear a song and then you get
the
active.
guy who killed John Lennon,
trans.
they found him because I
Catcher in the
worked.
Rye.
I did the gas right there in the building. The guy was telling me, the guy who worked in the
Great
building.
book. Great book.
He said, he's like, yeah, see those bushes right there, right across the street? He walked, they said they found him breathing the grass to the right. He had no idea what was going on. Dude, so the building's right here in the corner. He was direct. I'm talking about, like, he must have walked 10 feet, sat in the bushes right there. He wasn't
So
trying
he
to
did
hide.
whatever he did,
And just walked over there
and he was
sitting
in a
there.
trance, not knowing what just happened. That's crazy.
Time flies when you're having fun.
So let me ask you this. So I know you noticed some Dragon Ball stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, you're
so
a Dragon
there's
Ball
the-
guy?
So there's I know.
I grew
right?
up on a
So-
tsunami, dude. Back in the day, I'm
my boy,
37,
tell me,
dude.
you caught up on what's going on right now?
What, like the
Did you watch
the War of
Damia?
the Gods and stuff? No, I haven't. The Diamond
You know
one.
about
when they're
Ultra
little?
Ego Vegito?
I've seen some of it.
I mean, Vegeta, Ultra Ego Vegito, and Ultra
yeah, yeah,
Instinct
yeah,
Goku.
yeah. Of course, I'm gonna put all that stuff. Yeah.
Yo, Vegeta with the purple hair,
Yes.
with his eyebrows, and
Dude, you have no idea,
Gohan
bro.
Beast.
My
and
favorite is
Piccolo.
Gohan. Gohan to me is the
Gohan
most
Beast.
gangster
How awesome was
motherfucker,
Gohan
dude.
Beast?
Come on, bro.
I can't
People
wait
don't
for them.
remember Gohan was the one that beat up Cell. Like, dude, I was a
That
kid.
movie was awesome. But
I used to
wanna
like
see-
come home from school and just every day.
Dude,
just
it was
wait.
it sucked so bad because like
All the
remember-
commercials.
I watched it. No, I watched it in the early '90s. On Sunday morning at 6:00 in the morning, I discovered Dragon Ball Z, and it would be a half-hour episode, which was really 15
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah,
commercials.
like 24
and
minutes,
Bro,
like-
I'd have to watch this every Sunday, and it'd take a year for like
For you to get
for Goku to get to Namek to
Yeah.
fight goddamn Frieza. That took me a year of like, me and my cousin were like, God damn it, when's he gonna get there?
Bro, so they got I think like in fall they got the Galactic Patrol coming out,
Yeah,
which
oh,
is
yeah, yeah,
which
they're finally
is
gonna do it.
further on. I mean,
It's
they're
further out. It's gonna be
they're also
Go-
doing
Gohan's daughter and all
a,
that, yeah.
a couple of the arcs from Dragon
Dude,
Ball
they have
Super.
such
It's
good
called
arcs
Dragon
in the
Ball Super
mangas.
Beerus, but it's going to be enhanced, different fight scenes.
Yeah, but we
So-
need to get to do the manga. So they had the granola arc. That's where
Yes,
Ultra Ego-
yes.
You had the one with what was his name? The guy, the magic guy.
So they got the one that's coming out, Galactic Patrol, is a guy that is more powerful than Beerus and all of them.
No. No. So what happened was he okay, Galactic Patrol. This is what I'm talking about. The guy
Is it
was
Moro?
The Moro.
So that's
yeah.
the one that's coming
now
out.
they're going to the Moro
Dude,
arc.
so
Yeah,
Moro
yeah,
was
Moro.
magic based.
That's the one that's coming out.
It's so cool because they learned like this is where
Yeah,
they
because
get,
we've been through the Babidi era. Now we went to the Beerus era. Now we're going into the Moro.
So if you watch Damia, it brings in a lot of that magic.
The Diamond
shit.
one, they're all little and shit. I see some of it, like I
well,
said, like
that's
the first
Demon
2 or 3
Realm. That's a
episodes.
whole other thing. Now I really
You
hope.
know, it lets you know where like Piccolo came from.
Yes, that's the Demon
And
Realm.
And even
Piccolo, and then
the
Orange
Kais,
Piccolo.
even the Kais.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my question was gonna be, so I guess you answered Gohan's your favorite,
Yes.
and then also wrestling you watch, right?
Oh, dude, come on.
Who's
man.
your favorite wrestler?
of all time?
Yeah.
of all time.
Or top three at least. Because I know it's hard.
Because for me, it's hard to pick only because I grew up in the
Like
era.
when you were a kid, like Attitude
when I was
Era.
a kid, oh yeah, I grew up like in the Bret Hart,
Yes, Bret Hart.
The
Dun,
Rock,
dun, dun, dun,
Stone Cold
dun,
Steve
dun,
Austin.
dun.
But my guy was Chin Music himself, Pretty
Shawn
Boy
Michaels.
himself, Shawn Michaels.
Dun, dun, dun.
It was Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it was If You Could Survive. The motherfucking
The
Rock,
Rock,
bro.
I don't know.
I used to do the people's eyebrow and shit in school.
Dude, see, mine was Bret Hart,
loved
Shawn
it, dude.
Michaels. I mean, Stone Cold really just never did it for me. I mean, I like Stone Cold's character, not his
Yeah, I
wrestling.
like 316.
I love
that
Dead
That
Man.
shit was awesome, man.
Undertaker, man.
Yeah.
Undertaker was great.
Dude, Kane was
great.
scary when Kane first came out.
bro.
Kane
Long
was
hair
scary.
Kane. Yeah, dude.
Like when he ripped the cage.
I love
off the Hell in a
Mankind
Hell.
too, though.
Oh my
Who?
god.
Mankind. I love
Mankind was
great.
dude. People were
Oh,
sleeping
he
on
came
House
to my
Cat.
school. I love
Well, he's
Mankind,
from
but
Long
I always-
Island.
I met him
Yeah,
at the, I
he's from
seen him
Long
at the
Island,
gym, bro. I was like, who's that homeless
So,
guy?
all right. So, other question. Marvel. Are you into superheroes?
Yes, 100%. Grew up on all that.
Favorite Marvel character and favorite DC character. Matter of fact, I'll break
DC?
it down. Favorite Avenger,
Okay.
favorite X-Men, and then favorite DC character.
All right. So my favorite Avenger. Ooh,
There's a lot of different Avengers though.
I know, but I mean, if we're gonna be real, I mean, it's Tony Stark. It's the cute.
Wait, but are we talking about movie Avengers or
Whatever.
Just
comic
Avenger.
book.
I mean, because
favorite.
the Avengers. I mean, all the comics are different, but yeah, I mean, listen, Tony Stark. X-Men is always gonna be Wolverine, even though
I'm a
Cyclops
Cyclops
is my number two.
Doomsday.
1A, 1B.
Gambit was always my guy.
Gambit and Cyclops are going to be supposed to be
Those are
big
my top
parts of
three.
Doomsday.
Wolverine, Cyclops, and Gambit. They're
Okay,
1A,
yes.
1B, 1C for me.
Okay.
And I'm glad that they finally gave us a comic accurate Gambit. You know,
Yeah.
And
even though it was
Cyclops,
Channing
I
Tatum.
dude, I heard Cyclops
gonna have the blue and yellow
That's
suit.
gonna be
He's
nice.
gonna do the light
Oh,
beam.
No,
also,
I heard
also
he may
Secret
get the
Wars that
Phoenix
just
Force.
came out. Secret Wars is
It's
going to be
coming out.
bringing Jessica Alba back as Sue Storm.
Yeah, they're gonna be bringing back a lot of people.
Oh,
They're
see,
gonna
wasn't
have a
have
lot
the.
of cameos.
But I heard in Doomsday, I think Cyclops are going to get the Phoenix Force.
Yes,
like in the
yes,
comic book
yes, he's gonna
version,
get it, yep.
Where they can, he can finally
Well,
level up.
it kind of showed he kind of had
See,
was all
that's
powered.
the point where he breaks down in the
Yeah,
trailer.
yeah,
with
he
the
does
teaser.
that. Yeah.
I think that's when he gets the Phoenix Force. When
Yeah.
he just his
He-
shifts
when he just lets
'cause when he gets
loose.
the Phoenix Force, he can control everything.
Yes.
His optic blast.
Yeah.
That's
So-
why I think he rips
And
it
then
off.
DC, it's Bruce Wayne himself,
Yes, Batman,
Come on,
Batman.
man.
Yo, bro,
I am
listen,
the biggest
I've always
Batman
said
fan,
that
and I
shit.
will love him
Thank
forever.
you.
So,
bro.
so the
you,
chick
Batman.
that was just here last week, Bianca, she
was a
had
big Batman
all,
fan. Really?
fucking,
That's
all
awesome.
the villains
The
and
90s
Batman,
Batman,
on her sleeve.
I mean, I think he has the best villain
Yo,
gallery,
on top
man.
of
The
that-
Joker
by
is
far.
amazing.
on
Come
top
on,
of
man.
that, bro, he's a human
Yeah.
that could take them all down with just a shit on his
smart,
belt.
bro.
Yes.
Smart.
You know?
And he trains his body, his mind.
bro.
Like,
So other than that, I do want to say, Rise, get the Rise coffee,
Yeah,
bro.
100%. I've had it.
Yes, Rise
Yo,
coffee.
you use code Mayhem Pod, and you get 35% off your first order, and then 15% off every subsequent order after that. It's got 6 different types of mushrooms, good for digestion,
Yes.
focus, all that
It's
stuff.
amazing. I've had it myself.
look,
That's
today's
awesome.
boom,
Help me lose
first-hand
weight.
viewer.
That's awesome.
And also, Attorney Shield.
Attorney Shield. So have you heard of Attorney Shield?
Attorney shit. I've seen the commercials.
All right, so Project Mayhem is the code, and you get it is 10% off your subscription for like month to month. You get 10% off what everybody else would charge, and it's cool. So you get pulled over, you go on Attorney Shield, and they can talk to the cop for you. So that's kind of cool. I think we got your boy. You said you were gonna want to have one of your boys on next week or something.
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
I don't know if he's able to next week, or I got to link up with him. Maybe. I don't know.
Either that or maybe we're gonna have Ben on next week.
Yeah. Ben, you want? Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Do it, Ben.
That'd be awesome.
Cool, bro.
I love wrestling centric and like
Yeah,
you
bro,
know,
we could just
Dragon Ball Z. Really get dive into deep into that.
Shoot the shit. And so where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram as Paper Denim Poppy, Facebook as Carls Francis. But really, if you guys ever need any home services and solutions, just hit us up at Benny's Home Services or look up Ben Shepherd, and this is his business, and we do a little bit of everything.
That's what's up.
There you go.
Yeah, send me the information. I'll even link it in.
Yeah,
the-
we'll
in-
pull
Yeah, I got you guys. Yeah, man.
Stuff,
100%. Thank you.
You got anything else, man? I mean, I know
This was a
coming out.
long week in
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah, for all of us.
Grandma passed
Bro, well,
away.
yeah.
Oh, so
Working
sorry, man. My
around the
condolences,
clock. I worked a double last night. I didn't get back to my girl's house till like 11:30. I'm losing my mind this week. I've been
going
driving
through it, too.
hours, and then somehow fitting in the gym to all this.
Making it happen.
I'm
brother.
on so many goddamn peptides and steroids. It's the only thing that's carrying me through. We're gonna get that in a podcast. All about that
There you
one
go.
day. But yeah,
Trust
this
me,
is
man.
the week of hell. Thank God it's a 3-day weekend.
I'm sorry to hear that, man, and I hope it.
Yeah, I mean,
Dude, this is the first week I haven't worked over freaking 55, 60
Dude,
hours. I've been
bro.
working crazy
Just
hours.
traffic alone. There was one day, drove an hour and 20 minutes, no traffic, to the yard in the Bronx. Then got to the Bronx, drove another hour and 30 or hour and 40 minutes to the Brooklyn. Worked in Bath Ave in Brooklyn. Then drove another 2 hours and 45 minutes back to the Bronx. And then another hour and 25 minutes back to Long Island. Loser, your goddamn
crazy,
Saturday.
right?
Oh, this
Good
guy.
for
Forget
you,
about
dude.
it.
Fucking
Good for
crazy,
you.
I'm about
bro.
to just
He's
sell
doing his
coins.
thing. You need coins? Hit up my
Yeah,
man, Dan
yeah.
Noble,
Listen,
man. You want to
you-
trade coins in? Hit
If
up
you
Dan
need gold
Noble.
and silver, man, give me a call, bro. I'll put you into some
Or
real,
maybe
some
Project
real,
Mayhem will blow up and I go like this to fucking work.
and I'll
Don't
give you
bust my
some real
ass.
high trending, high percentage gaining coins, man. Yo, listen, I really do well for my clients, which is why they keep on spending money with me because I'm putting them into fire shit they
Well, I
can't
told
get.
you, man. I told you when you first came in over there. I was like, wow, he, you know. And it's funny because I used to joke. I'm like, damn, man, you have like a whole spiel, whole story. But you know what? It's crazy because it invites them in and lets them open up and talk to you as opposed to the way they, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm not a
Which,
hammer.
listen, there's nothing wrong with that. If it
Hammer.
works for you, it works for you. I don't have the personality. for
Yeah,
that. It didn't work for me, man. I tried it.
Oh,
I don't
did
know if
you?
it's the voice or what, the delivery, but I tried. Because you know I'm smart, dude. I can read
Oh,
the page. I know this
100%.
shit, bro. You know what I mean? I have a 130 something IQ. Like I know what the hell I was doing, bro.
Also, he wanted me to do it.
I was
borderline
borderline like genius, but like,
Really?
yeah, I have like I think it was last time I took it was like a 136, 137
Mean
IQ.
camarón.
Yeah,
Damn.
but dude, it was hard for me. Thank you.
Gunshots.
Dude,
They're all
it was
enemies.
hard for me to get these people to buy coins. Like I made a couple of sales, but it just wasn't for me, man. I'm more of a managing people. My brain works differently for certain
Yeah.
things.
Is everybody that pissed me off this week? Shots fired. And you know who you are? Fuck you.
Damn, you think they listen to that whole shit?
I fucking
They probably
hope
said
so.
I'm done with this shit.
Or I find the clip and I'll fucking put it on Instagram.
Nah, they were entertained.
Yo,
man.
listen, man, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll be here next week. It might be Ben, might be somebody else.
Yes.
Who knows? I
you
hope
for having
everybody.
me.
I mean,
Thank you for
it's
coming,
gonna
brother.
be-
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
100%, man.
Yo, have a good Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Too,
I'm
guys.
happy I'm
Thank
off
you.
Monday, bro. I'm
Yeah,
so
me too,
happy.
bro. Thank you.
Nice. They're
Thank you.
closed. They're good for you guys, man.
Yeah, man, that's it. We're done.
All right.
Oh.
Thank you, guys.